Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Miss Peltier and we are doing our 24th lesson for our COVID lock-in, stay at home, homeschooling, learning online, distance learning, whatever you want to call it. Your lesson for this, we should be now in our last week of school, and this will be due on the 22nd. The sooner you can get it done, the better it would be, because I don't know when I have to turn grades in yet, but the sooner we can get it done, then the sooner I can finalize whatever we need to. Hopefully you're keeping up with your work and getting your grade higher than it was and not just settling for whatever your third 9 weeks average was, okay? So we're going to do some more equations with some solving with logarithms. We're going to use the same properties that we used yesterday or the last session, using our product and our quotient properties, where, remember, product, if it was multiplication, you could put them together as if it's addition, you could put them together as multiplication. And if it's subtraction, you could put them together as division. What's new today, what we're going to add to our sort of baggage of tools to be able to solve log equations, is our power property, which tells us for any real numbers p. So notice they've now introduced this p value, which is the number in front of our log. Notice it's being multiplied, and we know with exponents that if we have it raised to a power, we multiply those. So if it's being multiplied, notice where it was in the original log, it would be up as an in the exponent area. So we can rearrange those as well. Notice p can be any real number, so that includes our negative. It also includes 0 and all of our fractions. However, we can only have positive numbers, m and b. So same thing before, our base, and then that larger number, this time they're calling it m, must also be positive. And the base cannot be equal to 1 still. Okay, so notice our equations look a little bit similar to what we did before, but the only thing that they've added or introduced is that p value that's in front. Notice I have a 3 in front of my log here on number 1. So what that tells me is if I take this value, power to a power, means we're going to raise it up here as an exponent. So what this would really become would be log base 4, and then this would be a 6 raised to the third power. So I'm taking that 3 and bringing it over here. Everything else is going to stay the same. I'm just writing it out so that you can follow along, and I don't lose anybody along the way. So we know 6 to the third, or you could multiply it out on your calculator, that 6 to the third is 216 minus log base 4 of 8 equals log base 4 of x. And so if you recall from yesterday's lesson, when we have the same base and we have a minus, we can put these together. Remember, the minus means division. So log base 4, and it would be 216 divided by 8 is equal to log base 4 of x. And notice I put parentheses around there. Sometimes you'll see some parentheses, sometimes you won't. Like if it's a fraction, you won't necessarily see them. I like to put them there so that I remember all of this is included in that number that I'm taking the log of. So I would say this is log base 4 of, and it's of all of this stuff, not just the 216 or the 8 or any parts. So that's just a visual thing for me. I like to write it. You probably wouldn't lose credit if you didn't write it, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Okay? We can divide if you want to plug that in the calculator. If you didn't know, 8 does go into 216, and so that would give me log base 4. 8 goes into 216 27 times, and I have log base 4 of x, and we know once our logs are the same on each side of the equation, then we know, if you will, their stuff is equal to each other as well. So therefore, we know that x is equal to 27. We still want to double check. If I plugged x in, notice my x is here, which must be a positive number, meaning not negative, and since that's just an x, our x does have to be positive, so we're good. All right, number 2, very similar. The only difference is that our number that we're going to be pulling up is going to be a fraction this time. And remember, that tells us that it would be a root, like a square root or a cube root if when we write it out. So we would have log base 6 of 25, and that would be raised to the 1/2 plus, and everything else is going to stay the same, log base 6 of x equals log base 6 of 20. Oops, that's an ugly 6, sorry. Remember this exponent of a half, what that tells us is we really have log base 6, the square root of 25. And we know how much is the square root of 25? Well, the square root of 25 is 5. So this is really log base 6 of 5 plus log base 6 of x equals log base 6 of 20. Now you can put those together. We know when we have a plus means we're going to multiply. So we would have log base 6 of 5 times x, or 5x, is equal to log base 6 of 20. So now they're equal on both sides, so I know my 5x must be equal to my 20. When I divide, x must be equal to 4. When I plug it back in, this has to be positive. It's positive, so we are good to go. Okay? Now, I wouldn't necessarily have to see all of these steps along the way. I'm showing you when you know that you're going to be taking 25 to the 1/2, and you know that's going to be a square root and it's going to go straight to 5. Notice this is the only part that I changed in this whole area. So if you just jump straight to there and you can see that mentally, you can certainly do that. You have not done anything wrong. Just make sure that you do show enough steps. You shouldn't be getting just an answer and not showing any work. These are not problems you can just do in your head. Okay? So be careful with that. I know with a lot of you, I just get work. I just get answers, no work. So you should be showing me some work on these. All right. So same thing with number 3. Notice I have a 2 in front. So that 2 is going to move up and it's going to become part of my exponent. So I would have log base 4 of x plus 1 squared. Sorry, I meant to write the squared in orange for you to see that for my visual people. Equals log base 4 of 11 minus x. They're equal, so I know these are going to be equal to each other. I also know that squaring this means I need to do FOIL, so this would be the same as saying x plus 1 times x plus 1 is equal to 11 minus x. When I FOIL that out, x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 11 minus x. Be careful, don't make that just an x squared plus 1 because you didn't FOIL it. And with the plus, even if it's a minus, it doesn't matter. You have to FOIL it. You have to do the times itself. Okay? Because we know we have a quadratic, we're going to have to factor, so we need to set it equal to 0. I'm going to move my x over and have x squared plus x. When I add an x to both sides, I'm actually going to have a plus 3x. Then when I subtract my 11 and negative 11 and 1 will give me a negative 10. Now I factor this, x and x. Factors of 10 that will give me 3 would be 5 and 2. To be a positive 3, I need a positive 5 and a negative 2. Hopefully you're getting better with your fractions or with your factoring. Setting each of those equal to 0. I know x is going to equal -5. And, oops, forgot to set it equal to 0. And I know that x is going to equal +2. I double check those. If I take -5 and I plug it in, -5 plus 1 gives me -4. This cannot be a negative, so I throw that one out. I don't even have to check it on the other side. It doesn't matter if it works over there. It doesn't work over here, so we throw it out. When I do the 2, 2 plus 1 is 2, that's good. When I do the 2, 11 minus 2 gives me 9, that's a good number, so I'll only keep the 2. Okay? Now, on this one, notice we have two numbers this time. We have both the 3 that will move up and the 2 that will move up. So when I do that, it will give me log base 2 of x cubed minus, and this will become log base 2 of 5x squared equals 2. I can put those together. The minus tells me I can put them together in one log as a division, x cubed over 25x squared, because 5x times 5x will give me 25x squared. Now with this, notice I've only got the one log. I can simplify this first, or you can do it in the same step if you want to, but I'll go ahead and simplify it first, and that will give me log base 2. Notice I have 3 x's on top and 2 x's on bottom, so those will reduce, leaving me with 1x on top over 25 equals 2. Now, because I only have the one log, we got to do our little circle thing, convert, and we're going to have base 2 raised to this power will equal all the stuff inside, x over 25. Well, 2 squared is 4. I can write that as 4 over 1 so that you can see it as cross multiplication, especially for my visual people. When I cross multiply that, x times 1 gives me x. 4 times 25 gives me 100. When I double check that and I plug 100 in here, I'm good. Plug 100 in here, I'm good. I'll keep my 100. Okay? So far that's all of our solving. We do have another couple of lessons to do after this one, but as we're getting close, make sure that you're staying on top of all your stuff. You've almost made it to the end of this long staying at home, doing your work on your own, and y'all are doing a great job. So keep up the good work. Continue with your social distancing. Quit touching your face, wash your hands, all that stuff. Help your mom and dad around the house. Be nice to your brothers and sisters. Help them out. I know everybody's getting a little bit kind of cabin fever and agitated, but we're going to make it, and hopefully we're going to get to see you soon. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody when we go back in August, so y'all come by and see me, and we'll keep in touch over the summer, so if y'all need anything, give me a holler. But I still have another couple lessons, so I'll see y'all then. Okay? So y'all take care, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.